Live from the mist-enshrouded mountaintop fortress that is X and Y Communications headquarters, you're listening to the world-famous Mountaintop Podcast. And now, here's your host, Scott McKay.
All right, how's it going, gentlemen? Welcome to yet another episode of the world-famous Mountaintop Podcast. As always, I am your host, Scott McKay. Today, we're going to have a barn burner of a topic, and I may have said those exact words before, but this time, hey, I'm responding to a request from not one, not two, not three, not seven, as LeBron would have said infamously, but a whole lot of you guys. Dozens of you guys have said, hey, look, I need to know where to find women, McKay, where to talk to them, where to meet them. Where are they? I mean, they're not the places I usually go. Maybe I'm going to the wrong places. Online dating isn't exactly what it used to be. As Mac Miller once said, it ain't 2009 no more, right? So we've got to know where the women are, how to meet them. Where do these women all go? Okay, so that's the topic we're going to hit today with a big, heavy hammer. And I've got the perfect woman. Yes, I said woman. You guys are going to love her. To talk to you about exactly that, because who would know about this topic more than a woman, right? Before we get to that, I want to remind you guys that the website is mountaintoppodcast.com. If you're not yet in the Facebook group Mountaintop Summit with us, well, what are you waiting for, man? Get over there, get on board, and join our conversation. We are like-minded men getting better as men and getting better with women. That's there for you at the Mountaintop Summit on Facebook, on X, on Truth Social, on YouTube, and on TikTok. I'm at Scott McKay, straight up. If you go to Threads or you go to Insta, I'm at Real Scott McKay. Those are the places to find me on social media. And where you found yourself right now is in the thick of a conversation we're going to have with my new friend. Her name is Lisa Concepcion. She is a certified life coach. She is the head honcha over there at lovequestcoaching.com, which is a personal development academy for those who want to thrive in love. Love that word. She is originally from New York, but now she is firmly ensconced in Sarasota, Florida, just hours before Milton is going to hit. So, man, I'm sure glad that she made time out of what's got to be a pretty hectic schedule to be here today. Lisa, how's it going down there in Florida? You staying safe?
It's going.
It may be gone in a few hours. You all right?
Hope not. We are 10 miles inland from the coastal. So we're hoping that it will come in and dissipate a bit. And yeah, we're going to get some wind. We're going to get some hardcore weather, but we're hunkered down and we're not going anywhere.
Just another early fall day in Florida, basically.
Yeah.
Now, you and I were chit-chatting before we hit record on this podcast. We're already getting along famously, as they say, and this is going to be a fantastic conversation. Lisa, the guys want to know, first of all, where all the good women went, and why is it so hard to talk to them nowadays? And, you know, on top of all else, where are they? So go ahead and riff away. Let's see where this conversation takes us. Take it away.
All right. Well, first, I'd like to start off with some compassion for the men because it is rough, right? Like you take feminism, radical lunatic feminism, and you put it in a glass, and then you take the Me Too movement and you put that in a glass, and then you take social media and narcissism and entitlement attitude, and you put that in a cocktail shaker, shake it up, and it pours out to be sludge. So it's very difficult, right? Then you have the other issue where women are, after COVID, like they're not really out and about the way they used to be for some reason. They're very insulated. A lot of them are medicated, depressed. They love that SSRI with the box of wine. It's just not a good time for high quality women, right? Well, let me rephrase. It's a great time for high quality women because they stand out so much. And I take it your listeners are high quality men, men of virtue, men of, valor, honorable men, men with integrity, and they are looking for a woman who has accountability, is peaceful, is feminine, can lean back and let the man take the lead, make some decisions without her constantly trying to navigate and usurp him. And this is what more and more men of quality are looking for. So of course it's difficult to match up with some of these women. However, I assure you that these lovelies are out doing their thing. And what do I mean by this? Typically, they're working on themselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You will find these types of women Saturday morning at some wellness seminar, right? So if you're a guy who's into personal development, sign up for some courses, go on Eventbrite, look at how the ladies are bettering themselves on a morning in a weekend. Maybe there's a farmer's market with, great fruits and vegetables, and they're all out there looking to get great food. Think of the types of things that these women are typically interested in, and they're most likely the same things you're interested in. You want to eat right, be healthy, body, mind, and soul, and go to the places that you're drawn to, and those women should be there. One of the things that I tell my clients, my female clients, because I coach both men and women, is I tell them that men that they want, those high quality men, probably your listeners, right? And I'd be curious to know if this is true, but they go food shopping later in the day, and women make the mistake of going food shopping on like a Saturday morning, and they're missing each other. So I had this little experiment. I told 4 of my clients who are ladies, I said, instead of doing your food shopping once a week, all in one day on a Saturday morning, instead switch that to going to the market several times during the week between the hours of 5 and 7. And 3 of the 4 women met men at the market. Because guys don't think like women. They're like, they're working all day if they work from home. And then they leave, and it dawns on them like, I got to go pick up something to eat. I got to go get a steak to make myself. I have to go do something. And so on the way home, or they take a break from working, they'll go to the market later. Not doing it in the morning. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, it worked for the 3 women that I said. You need to, find yourself doing your day-to-day errands and the things that you need to do during the timing where the person that you want to meet will be doing those things.
Okay, well, first of all, Lisa, you're quite the charmer now, aren't you? These guys are already like...
I've been told I'm kind of a guy's girl.
Yes. Well, you made a lot of friends there in that early part of your rather impressive podium speech just now.
Thank you.
You said all the right things to this audience. They're thinking like, fine, women. I think I already found one. McKay, send me her email address. But you're happily married, right? Down there
I am, yes.
To some lucky guy who's probably terrific. And also you were mentioning all the right things about what's happened with our culture. I was waiting for you to talk about COVID and how people's, social muscles have atrophied. I think people are coming out of their shell. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, people were like, this is crazy. I'm done being antisocial. I'm done being chained to social media. I want something real. And yet we were still kind of out of practice being social. But now I think people are getting a little bit more into it. And they're remembering how much fun it was to be social. So it's a little bit easier than it has been than ever. It's still not completely back to normal. But, when you mix in that, cocktail that you ruthlessly concocted before our very eyes of feminism and Me Too movement and all of that stuff that's really made women afraid of men and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people talk about being transphobic or homophobic. Let me coin a new term, heterophobic. I think we're afraid of ourselves out there. Like, what's this woman going to think? More guys are afraid of bothering women than being rejected. I think rejection phobia is still out there. But, you made a lot of very, very good points. And the ideas you just brought forth about how to do your food shopping are nothing short of epic. I talk about that a lot. I am guilty as charged. I'm raising my right hand. I'm one of those guys who goes food shopping 5 to 7 o'clock at night after the end of the working day, kind of almost as a way to get out and get some oxygen before I go work out, Mm-hmm. The women I see there are women who work all day, and they're coming into the grocery store, getting in and out of there as soon as possible in a scramble to find something to cook their family. Obviously, that's not the eligible bachelorette. Mm-hmm. I do see women in there who are dressed in their cute little Lululemon yoga pants for no apparent reason. They're not coming from a gym. They're not sweaty, and they're not going to the gym with a shopping cart full of frozen food after they're done shopping. It isn't going to happen. They're there to look cute, hoping to meet some guy. When I see those women is usually either in the mornings on weekends or later at night. But the problem with going later at night is even though you avoid the crowds are often comprised of pretty women, aren't they? So they're not there either. You mentioned the farmer's market, which I think is a silver bullet. Any place where people are relaxed, they're not at work, they're in vacation mode. Saturday, Sunday morning, they brought the doggos out, they're checking out everything that's, on sale at the farmer's market, having casual conversations, perhaps with their coffee in their hand. That's a wonderful place just to be social in general. And yes, the women you're going to meet there usually are wonderful, and they probably have a fur baby of their own they're walking. Great conversation time there. Yeah?
Yeah. And the other thing about putting yourself in an environment that healthy people go to, you're going to run into people that have a higher consciousness, right? They know what's going on in the world. They want to put good things in their bodies. And think about it, a farmer's market, typically you're looking at what, 10 a.m. until maybe 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon. So you're getting a crowd that was not out until 4 in the morning partying the night before. Okay. You're going to get good girls who were maybe out to dinner with a few girlfriends and they call it a night by 11 p.m. because why? In the morning, they want to get up, they want to do their errands, they want to work out, hit the farmer's market, maybe meet for brunch. And they're just in a different season of their life. They're looking to embody wife material, right? They want to be a wife material type woman. They don't want to be walking around with a hangover, all disheveled. They want to be put together, and you never know who I might meet. And I just, women want to be more of a genuine example of what they believe their ideal man wants. So those are typically the type of women who are more open to striking up a conversation with a man or being welcoming of a man, striking up a conversation with them. These are the women who will give more of a green light. Maybe she'll make some eye contact, smile, ask a question, right? Oh, hey, can you do me a favor and give me a napkin, right? She'll be more that as opposed to these angry, arms folded, resting bitch face feminists who have repel. And I don't mean repel like repelling off of a building.
Nothing adventurous there.
For any of the military men out there, I mean repelling, like awful energy, not open, not feminine, not an open heart, more of a closed off rigidity that's just off-putting, right? It's not where it's at. So one of the things that I coach a lot of women on is that magic of learning how to slip into feminine energy. And I had my own journey with this. Lots of lessons learned. I worked and lived and grew up in New York metro area. So I was Manhattan girl, concrete jungle, get the F out of my way. I have a train to get, that kind of attitude. And I wasn't really authentic. There was a whole side of me that was very suppressed. And this is common with modern women. But when you rearrange your life so that you're more authentic and you work on yourself and you heal a lot of past wounds and you get accountable about what is and what is not working in your life, and you make a commitment to fix yourself, change yourself, grow, then you have a balance of energy, a masculine and feminine balance. So yes, there are times where I'm very in my masculine and I have stuff to do and I have to get my list done and discipline and carry it through and follow through with your commitments and all of this, right? And these are great qualities to have. But I can't not be in my feminine at all for sake of productivity. There's a moment where I shift and I'm like, okay, workday is done. I have all my to-dos done. And now I'm going to leave my office. I work from home, as does my husband. And when I go to the kitchen, because it's time to cook together and catch up on what was your day like, what was my day like, and all this fun, and the dog, and we're all together. That's when I can slide into that feminine energy and be like, okay, I don't have to be going 9,000 miles an hour, right? Husband's taking on the steak. He's going to grill in the yard, in the backyard, and I'm going to handle making a nice salad. We're going to put some music on. We're going to just ease into our time together. And I get to be woman. He gets to be man. we complement each other's energies. We're relaxed. This is a home of love and respect and harmony and peace. It's our sanctuary. It's just all about maintaining the vibe so that my husband feels that he has attention, affection, that he has the space to say what he wants to say about his day, and he can share things with me. I don't have to critique, offer any opinions, nothing, just hold space, right?
That's called connection.
That's it. Exactly.
That's called, we have a relationship.
Right.
This isn't all
It's
about
not
sex
about,
or,
trying to sort things out and fix things. No, it's just listening, just chilling out and listening. That's all.
Two things I want to cover here. And you're just dropping great information. That's why I'm letting you riff away here. Bars and clubs, the whole pickup artist movement from about 20 years ago, and even still today, a lot of men think, okay, the time to meet women is on Friday and Saturday night, preferably late after midnight, and the place to meet them, the designated venue, is bars and clubs. And in the back of our minds, we know we're going to meet stuck-up party girls in little black dresses who probably have mental problems and are part of this drinking or maybe even drug culture. Probably someone who's going to sue P. Diddy here in a few months, right? And we're thinking this is where we're going to find a girlfriend. This is where we're going to find a wife. Now, if you're going out and you're just wanting to get your rocks off, so your wild oats and hook up, I mean, there are men and women who want to do that. But still, it's not easy to meet someone in that dark, noisy environment where people aren't exactly their true selves because of the influence of alcohol or whatever. So I'm kind of with you on this, Lisa. I don't know how we ever brainwashed ourselves to think that's a great place to meet each other as men and women. That said, nowadays, I'm sure where you live down in Sarasota, you're in the Sun Belt like we are. You have this advent of kind of like park-like settings where they have the Christmas lights out all year long and everybody's playing cornhole, and it's sort of like a nighttime park/bar to kind of hang out in, meet other people, have a beer or two. And it's a lot more social. And I love the design of those places. And that can work. Yet, I still think we have to get out of this mindset where we believe we got to go to a bar or a club to meet a woman. I mean, if you're a churchgoer, church is an obvious place to meet women, but then you go to these god awful, literally, singles meetings that just attract a bunch of desperate losers, and you're just left wringing your hands all over again. So I love that your immediate go-to move was to say, get out of the bars and clubs. So even though you said that a few minutes ago, I wanted to clarify, I wanted to add some dimension to that and let you know that I'm 100% on board with you. Now, here's where I want to take this conversation next, because you brought up a scintillating, juicy point, and it had never been talked about on this show before, and we're going to cover it because I know you're ready. You talked about women, high-quality women, the kind of women you're saying our audience wants to meet. They know they have to seem like wife material. They're honing their wife material skills. They're going to the grocery store. They're getting into their feminine. They know by nature or by trial and error, frankly, if they're a little bit more mature, maybe they've been through a divorce, right? They have the wisdom to know what the high quality men are looking for. But yet, Lisa, I think a lot of women aren't that wise. I think they've listened to the media and they're thinking, oh, well, the sluttier I look, the more men are going to be attracted to me. And then they go out there dressed like a whore, right? They go out there acting like a whore. They get drunk. They do a line of cocaine. And then they come complaining to Emily and to me and to you about how there are no good men out there, right? And it's really a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, that's a pretty harsh statement. And I'm not going to let my fellow dudes off the hook either. Because a lot of guys think like the only women who are ever going to want to have sex are the women I see putting their sexuality out there. So they're going to strip clubs trying to find a wife. I mean, there is crazy stuff going on psychologically in the minds of both men and women as we allegedly seek to get together for a meaningful relationship. Meanwhile, there are guys out there who think, okay, well, this woman who I'm looking for, I really want her to be wife material and to be modest, but my goodness, look at that slutty looking woman who looks like she's up for anything. I think I'm going to end up with her instead. And then he
Mm.
wonders why she doesn't have the character he was looking for. Now, there are a lot of stereotypes flying around here, but I wanted to acknowledge what you were saying about women who make an effort to seem like the right kind of woman. And I would dare say that's often grounded in a reality inside their conscience. And that's who they really are if they're striving that hard to be that person. I don't know why a woman would put on the wife material ruse when she really would rather be looking sluttier and getting a lot of attention from men who just want sex, you know?
Well, I think it's interesting that there are two extremes, but there is that blend of the both.
Of course.
Right? So, I mean, I dress very appropriately, A, for my age, and B, as a married woman. Like, I'm not wearing the same stuff I would wear when I was single in South Beach, Miami, getting over my divorce. I was a different person then. And through my growth journey, I became someone else, meaning I had to go through seasons of growth and seasons of acknowledging my limitations based on beliefs that were programmed into me that were no longer serving me. So when we talk about high quality women who are wife material, typically these women have wisdom because they've gotten over certain things in their lives, perhaps childhood wounds, issues with their parents and family, ex-boyfriends, husbands, relationships. They've learned that high quality women doesn't just mean what I'm wearing. That is a part of it. You do want to make sure your packaging is not one of promiscuity, selling something that just isn't the thing that you want to sell, right? If you're out there and you're selling yourself or marketing yourself, and I did marketing for 25 years prior to being a life coach, if you want your packaging to be aligned with what it is you're selling. If you're selling yourself as, I am a great wife and a mother, and I'm single right now, but I am the essence of wife and mother, you're not going to go out dressed like a total hoe.
Hey, how about this? I'm going to coin a phrase. Ready?
Yeah.
I would tell women what men see is what you get.
Right. And, there are moments where
it took a second, but you figured out what I was saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. Because, there are moments where I will dress up for my husband. We'll go out to dinner with friends. Again, always appropriate. However, it might be a more form-fitting dress, or it might show a little cleavage, but it's never in a way that would embarrass him. He's always complimentary. You always look classy, sexy, classy, as opposed to hoe. I would never look like that ever. And why is that? Because I knew the kind of man that I wanted, the kind of man I wanted to be a wife to, wouldn't appreciate that kind of disrespect for myself and to be on his arm, because it's both.
Now, you're not a unicorn in saying that. My wife says something very similar to what you just said about that specific type of situation. In simple terms, she'll say, well, I just want to look cute for you.
Right.
Which is what's on the surface. But you dig a little deeper, and she says, as your wife, I want men to look at you and go, that is an exceptional guy, because look at the woman he's with.
Exactly. So for me,
I want to make you proud, is what she said.
Right. I always say, I want us to be out in the world representing ourselves individually and together as the couple that we aspire to be.
Right. She purposefully avoids looking frumpy just to make me look good. And it's not anything I've done to coerce her. It's simply us taking care of each other. And I won't get drunk and disorderly and say stupid, boorish things in public that would embarrass her and make people roll their eyes going, oh, she picked a real winner, right? I kind of feel the same way in my manly way about her.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing when you're both on the same page and you are very clear about what is acceptable and what is not, and the direction that you're going in as a couple and what you stand for. There are couples who are very honorable, and then there are couples who are not honorable. And you have a lot of those couples that go out, they drink too much, they get rowdy and loud, they start fights with other people. She tries to get her husband or boyfriend jealous by flirting with some other dude. Like, What is that? What are you doing? That is not high value behavior. And sometimes there are couples that get off on that, but you just have to find the person who has the same values that you have, and a person who is very open to feedback, constructive criticism from a place of, I just want you to be better. Not to say you're bad as you are, but we are both in agreement in this relationship that we want to help each other grow, evolve, and ascend. And you cannot do that if you're simping out, telling her everything she thinks she needs to hear. There are times to deliver honesty with love, and that goes for men and women. And oftentimes women, they don't know how to communicate in a way that inspires and uplifts their man. They come at it as a scolding mother, and no man finds that attractive on any level.
The whole concept of wanting and expecting a high quality partner aside, because, some people are borderline personality disorder victims and they love drama and everything prosperous must die. I get that. But, as we live, move, and have our being, especially in these deeply politically divided times, anybody who's got the balls to go out there and actually talk to people in public realizes most of us are pretty normal psychologically. We want to be happy. We want to live our best lives, and we want to get along. Man, woman, black, white, Hispanic, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. People really just want to be human with each other and get along, which brings up the inevitable question here. None of what we're talking about here is complicated. When you go out there and have the self-respect not to accept being abused, but you're also trying to make someone else's life better for being in it, you just find someone you get along with, your values are the same, and you're attracted to each other, and it should be easy. How did this get so complicated, Lisa? Why are so many men and women asking this question? Where is everybody? How do I find someone? Why is everybody having such a tough time?
I feel like all roads lead to social media and programming, just this divisive, and I think it's manufactured division between men and women. I think masculinity is under attack. I think that a lot of feminists have monopolized the bullhorn. And there are a large portion of women who like the traditional old school way of being with a man. And they don't necessarily have the megaphone, but they're using social media too. I put out content every day about this, encouraging ladies to be ladies and gentlemen to be gentlemen, and let both shine, right? Like encouraging it and saying we need more of it. And there has been this high sense of narcissism that's erupted, and everybody thinks that they're owed something. And
post-COVID, that was exacerbated.
Right. And I feel like women think that, and not all, like I said, this category of women, that they think that they're entitled to whatever it is they want without any sort of personal accountability, bringing anything to the proverbial table themselves. And it's like, well, you want a man to do all these amazing things for you, but you have a problem with him saying that you shouldn't be in bikini pictures on your social media, or you shouldn't be out until 2 a.m. with your girlfriends on a girls' night. You can't have problems with that, right? You have to be like, listen, here's the dude I want, and that dude is not going to be all for me taking a Vegas trip with 5 of my girlfriends. He's just not. So ladies, I always say, are you sure you want that high quality masculine man? Because that high quality masculine man is going to sit you down and he's going to say to you, look, I love what we have going on here, and I really want to take this further with you. But if you go to Vegas with 5 of your girlfriends, I don't think I can continue in this relationship. The type of woman I want would never think to go on a vacation like that. The type of woman I want to provide for and protect and have as a partner in my life, bring around my family, is the type of woman that says, my best friend's turning 30, 35. We're all going to this amazing spa retreat. We're going to have massages and learn how to, meditate. And we're going to have a good time and tell stories by the campfire and whatever it is, but it's a more appropriate way of living. It's your whole lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying don't go to brunch on a Sunday with your girlfriends and have a few cocktails if that's your jam, but understand that the man that you ladies want, and tell me, coach, I want this type of man. You have to sit down and get real about the qualities that that man will and will not want in a woman. And if you're it, cool. And if you keep working to be it, even better.
Well, that level of introspection is rare for anybody nowadays. Men, women,
unfortunately, yeah. But
gay
you know what's
relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what's interesting though, I find, and this is also the good side of social media, and I always like to, put a positive spin on things. There is a lot of interest, hunger even for podcasts like these, personal development, books, resources, little TikTok reels, things of information that you see people really looking into. So there's this weird, I don't want to be different. I am who I am. Love me for who I am, even though you're a dysfunctional hot mess with daddy issues. But on the other side, there's this whole other category of people, this whole other population, and they're the ones jumping into self-help. They're investing in coaches. They're going to seminars. They're doing things like 75 Hard. They're just really finding community in developing themselves further. That's why you see a lot of high quality women going to Pilates. There's a community there. They go to a facility and they meet other women and they all have things of the same interest. They want to better themselves, body, mind, soul. They're not just sitting around eating all the time and drinking and having just unhealthy choices going on in their life, right? And I think here's something really interesting too. I think there's a backlash about to spring up about promiscuity. I feel like there are women kind of railing against other women, more traditional women, subtly and eloquently encouraging and inspiring all women to be ladies. I think there's going to be this backlash very soon about that promiscuous, I'm feminine. I'm a feminist rather. I'll do what I want. I make more money than him. Who needs a man? I don't need a man. I'm just going to go out there and hook up. And every other weekend, if I want to bring a new guy home, I will. No one can tell me different. It's not a hot look anymore. Not a hot look anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think there's going to be a backlash against a lot of what's going on in culture nowadays.
Yes.
Writ large, what you're alluding to here is pressure on men and women being attracted to each other and procreating and making babies and the family unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a conspiracy theory anymore because everywhere you look, there's pressure on all of the above that I just mentioned. I mean, I was laughing to myself when you're talking about women telling other women to stop being promiscuous and how that backlash has come in. First of all, we have to figure out how to define a woman nowadays.
Right.
So we know who's talking to who. You know what I mean? And I mean, I say that a bit tongue in cheek, but people are fed up with all this crazy stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It's not who we are at our core, and people just want to be human again. The wokeness is already waning.
Mm-hmm.
The term woke is only used by people who are trying to put a stop to it. People don't consider themselves woke by name anymore. They've already realized there's a stigma attached to that term. And
Yeah.
of course, like most movements or whatever you want to call it, it all starts well and good. We would really like to have people who have certain privilege to wake up to what it's like to be us. Well, enough already. That doesn't mean you have to bury everybody who doesn't look like you and make them suffer now. That's called revenge.
Mm-hmm.
People want to be human. People want to get to what's real. They're watching movies like WALL-E. They're revisiting movies like Demolition Man and Idiocracy and realizing, oh my God, that's the world we're actually living in nowadays. And it was meant to be a parody. It was meant to be stupid. And we live in stupid world, right?
It's crazy. It's clown world 100%. But I
Oh
feel
my
like,
goodness.
people who are hungry for personal development, listening to shows like this, it's kind of nice to talk to people or listen to people and be part of a community of like-minded people, like-valued people, so that you know that you're not crazy. Because if you leave it to the mainstream media, right? these more conservative values, family and being old school and just being normal. It's like you're crazy and they gaslight you for just wanting simpler things and like
you're a reactionary.
Oh, I know.
You're beyond conservative. You're beyond evil. You're a threat.
You're a threat.
Yet here we are.
Yeah, it's like I'm the threat to the country because I'm a feminine woman who respects her husband. I don't have any ill will towards men. I see and value them tremendously. And, I was making this point. I'm in Florida, it's hurricane season, and the linemen were out restoring power to the people, right?
Not the line
after Hurricane Helene, right? So now we got Milton coming. And I said, let's take a minute to realize and look at and acknowledge that these linemen, dangerous, going out all hours of the night, they're men. So when you ladies want to have your curling iron on and your blow dryer and your electricity so you can see your makeup and whatever you do, thank a guy. There's a dude. Dave the lineman put the thing together for you last night at 2 a.m. So your pretty little self can sleep in air conditioning, right? Like you have to start to understand and appreciate both sides, right? There are a lot of things that women do and a lot of things that men do. And we're just, doing our thing and we all can complement one another.
Well, we all do complement each other.
Right? We don't have to be at odds with each other all the time. It's exhausting.
Yeah, you said that masculinity, there's a war on masculinity. Well, because masculinity leads, provides, and protects. And the response from femininity is to bring love, joy, peace, comfort to the world.
Well, you raised such a really important point. I drill this down with my clients all the time. I say to the men, my friends, pick a woman who is open to receiving you. Pick a woman who yields to your leadership, not someone who's combative and confronting and constantly challenging your decisions.
Well, hold on a second. Okay. It is benevolent leadership. We have to act in the best interest of our family, our wives, or even our girlfriends. Even a woman on a first date, we have to act in her best interest.
Exactly.
And also our kids. But hold on.
Like a woman's not going to want to yield to a man's leadership if he's leading her off a cliff.
Of course. I mean, she's an adult. She has agency and she has self-respect.
Right.
What I'm alluding to here, however, is there's no attack on femininity because femininity responds to masculinity. So all you have to do is take away the threats to protecting your household posed by masculinity, and then women have nothing to be feminine towards anymore. So you can just neuter femininity easily and let it remain what it is because there's no masculinity left to respond to. And without the masculine leadership to make a woman feel safe and comfortable, to make a family feel safe and comfortable, something's got to step into that gap. What is it? Government.
Right.
So
and they love that. That's
here's
why the divide.
deal.
That's why they're doing the divide the way they are with women.
That's why there's this threat against masculinity and the family. And tinfoil hat wearers beware. Okay. There's too many pointers to this reality. And the backlash that you're talking about, I don't think it's coming. I think it's already happening. I think women are fed up. I think men are actually fed up. We know we've been lied to. We know women and men are supposed to be in partnership with each other. My God, we're physically designed to be in partnership with each other and make babies. There's no way men and women are supposed to be adversarial. So you combine that with this trend, which I believe goes all the way back to post-World War II. I mean, it started brewing in the 50s, the 80s, where the Me Generation Self magazine comes out, this narcissistic tendency, I'm going to get what I want. I mean, the URL of my website, Deserve What You Want. I thought it sounded so trite when it first entered my noggin. Then I Googled it and no one said it. It was a novel concept. You mean I've got to be the kind of man the woman of my dreams is looking for in order to attract her? That's just crazy talk. But that's exactly what you're saying. You have women out there who are waking up to the fact that I've got to be the kind of woman who's going to be attractive to the man I want to attract. If I want to go out and be a slutty whore who's promiscuous, I can't complain when men show up and all they want is quote unquote one thing. Right. I'm going to have to shut up and eat that if that's what I've been putting out to the universe. So I think people are sick of feeling like victims. People want their agency back in life. And that means if I'm going to succeed, I want to do it myself because frankly, depending on other people, especially depending on the government, sucks. It's dehumanizing. And then when you tell me I've got to be really selfish and get what I want and no one's buying what I'm putting out there. And oh, by the way, all men are bad, all women are bad. Okay. And then everybody's lonely. What are we doing? And we're thinking we're going to find someone who's going to love us exactly the way we are, and they're going to treat us right, and we can just be narcissistic and take. Oh my God. Everybody I hear using the word gaslighting in an accusatory tone is almost always the one doing the gaslighting nowadays, Lisa.
Fact.
Yeah. You know what, guys? Deserve what you want. Don't accept anything but a woman who's attempting to be high quality. And here's the mic drop. You ready? Start expecting the women you want to accept. Because if you think all women are terrible, that's a lie. That's just a lie. It's an evil lie. It's coming from a place of spiritual darkness, if you want my real honest opinion. This is an assault against not only our sexuality, our right to procreate, the furtherance of the human race. It's an assault against who the hell we are at our core. And you're 100% right, Lisa. We want it to stop. We're taking our lives back. We're taking who we are back. I'll let you get the last word because, I kind of went off there.
I love that. I love that fire. I love it. Yeah. I mean, hey, I do believe that there has been a lot of programming where
yes,
if men are too nice to women, you're a simp. And if women are nice to men, then they're going to roll all over you.
But don't be Mr. Nice Guy either.
Don't be Mr. Nice Guy. I think it's just simply being honorable. There's such
and
a
being
nice,
real.
Such a nice, authenticity, honorable, knowing right from wrong, right? Like, let's just get back to the basics. If you see a pretty girl and she smiles at you, go say hi.
She's not scary. She's not going to completely crush you underfoot because you're male. She's heterosexual. That means she likes boys. She likes men.
She's waiting for that guy with the cojones to come and say hi, to pursue her and, strike up
a conversation.
It's all it is. It doesn't have to be the be all end all. Maybe she'll like you. Maybe she won't. Maybe she's into chicks. Maybe she has a boyfriend. Who knows? But just get used to saying hi.
Guys, women don't understand that we think of everything as a competition and it's a win-loss ledger and there's acceptance and rejection. When you talk to her, she's just having a conversation with you. That's all in her head.
Here's something really interesting, though, that I helped a client with. I told him he had issues with rejection and all of this and a lot of programming, but he wanted a wife. He wants to be a dad. He's like 42 years old. And he's like, Lisa, I just want to meet my woman. And I said to him, well, what's the problem? Like, what do you see as the problem? Well, I don't really know where to go. And when I do go, I'm with like one of my guy friends. And how do you approach a woman when you're with your guy friend? And all of these things, right? All of these beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what if you just made every time you go out an opportunity to prove to yourself that women are wonderful and they are everywhere? So I gave him this assignment and I said, I don't care if they're pretty or not, or 20 years older, or I don't care. Just make eye contact and say hello to the women that you encounter.
Just learn how to communicate with women and see what happens.
And how much power that gives you. That's so empowering that when, let's say you go to buy some groceries and the checkout lady, instead of just sitting there looking at your phone, deet, oh, that'll be $27.32, please. Like doing a transaction, look at her and say, hey, how's your day going today, ma'am? Watch her face light up. There is nothing more juicy and lovely and just fills you in that warm spot for a woman, than a gentleman acknowledging them for who they are. How's your day going today? Oh,
and especially acknowledging her femininity.
Right.
Talking to her like a woman, not another guy. That doesn't mean bringing up sex or being rude or anything like that. It means simply talking to her as if she's a woman, whatever that means to you. And, you hit the nail on the head. I tell these guys the same thing. They get really, really worked up, especially when they're talking to a woman they find sexually attractive. A
Yeah.
lot of guys will tell me I can attract women who I'm not attracted to all day long. And I said, well, that means you're attractive. Now you
Right.
just need to relax and be that guy, even if she is attractive to you, and see what happens. And they're like, but it's so hard. I go, well, keep
That's a
talking
lot
to
of it.
women.
Yeah, a lot of that is their own
Oh,
self-perception.
of course. You betcha. You betcha.
And you know, to be fair, there is a valid reason for that.
Oh, you know it. But the thing is, just like getting better at a sport or anything else that involves getting more comfortable and relaxing into the game as you get into it, the more women you talk to, the more you're going to find yourself not really noticing you're talking to more and more attractive women. And finally, sooner than later, frankly, you'll go, wow, I'm talking to beautiful women the same way I'm talking to all women, because you've had the reps. It's like if you go out and you decide you want to be a football quarterback, and your first game is as backup quarterback for Lamar Jackson because he got hurt again for the Ravens, and you know you have all pro linebackers breathing down your neck like a pack of lions trying to kill you, you're probably not going to play quarterback. You're probably just going to throw the ball up in the air and run the other way screaming. Yeah, well, it takes a while to get to Lamar Jackson, comfort with the game, right? That's why you don't see a lot of rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. The more reps you get, the more field sense you get, the more comfortable you get with the way the game's laid out. And I use the word game not in the classical sense of, you know, the book, the game. I'm just making an analogy.
Yeah.
The more women you talk to, the more practice you get talking to women, boom, the more women you meet. And you know what, Lisa, we realized then and there, you can meet women everywhere. You just got to be ready. Boom.
Oh, and check this little nugget out. This will make the guys feel really good because this is such a good little uplifting piece of information. Oftentimes, women will find a man more attractive after they talk to each other. Once they engage in conversation, women fall in love with their ears. Yes, there has to be some sort of like, oh, he's cute, kind of, maybe, I don't know, is he for me? Women don't even know what they want, right?
Oh, I'm a guy and I'm similar.
Right.
And I don't think I'm alone.
How many times, ask around your guy friends that have girlfriends, did she like him immediately right out of the gate from moment one? Or was it a thing where he kind of grew on me? I kind of liked him after the third date. I don't know. There was something about him. He just kind of grew on me. You'll hear that a lot. So instead of just presuming, oh, she's too pretty, I'm never going to have a shot with her. Instead, think, I can have a shot with anyone. This chick doesn't know what she wants. I'm the man. I'm amazing. I have all these great qualities. I'm going to just go say hi. And if she's into me, cool. And if she's not, that's cool too. All is well.
I have often found that guys are their worst enemy, often, but particularly in the way that they decide who they are going to have to settle for. They decide which league they belong in. And usually most guys lack the self-confidence and self-esteem to put themselves in their own major league. And they're not going to dare go after the women they really want. They're going to go after women who are sort of okay, who are good enough. And here's what I know about women. And you can back me up on this or argue with me, but you've never heard me say this out loud before. So I'm taking a Brene Brownian risk right now by being vulnerable. One of the most attractive traits a woman can find in a man who is a future partner for her is that he chose her from many options. She feels wanted. She feels selected. She feels like this guy could go and date a bunch of women, but he saw me and said, you are exactly what I like. You are what I want. Then he proved it over a few dates. And then the woman goes, I have never felt safer and more comfortable with a man because I feel like he wants me. I feel chosen. Like I feel like I'm at home with this guy in a weird sort of way. And the next thing you know, that is what drives that feminine attraction, is that safety and security.
For sure. And a big part of that also is a man who knows his value, meaning I adore you. You are my woman. I cherish you. However, you disrespect me. You betray me, you exploit me, we are done.
Oh, fair enough.
End.
Yes, that goes both ways. That's self-respect.
For sure.
And not to be underestimated is the nuance of what you just said, such that this assumption that the man sees himself as the prize, has high self-esteem, is a man of high value who has worked to be the man who deserves what he wants. The power of him selecting a woman who likewise feels good about herself is that much more exponentially powerful. Indeed. Indeed. Great conversation. Like I said, Lisa, we're going to have you back because this is the kind of conversations we love having around here. Her name is Lisa Concepcion. She's a certified life coach. Love Quest Coaching is her brand. She runs a personal development academy for those who want to thrive in love. And when you go to mountaintoppodcast.com/lovequest, LOVEQUEST, you will be once again magically teleported to our guest website. And Lisa, what will these guys find when they get there?
Well, you can get your free love life assessment with me. No bots, no BS, no AI. It's actually me.
Did I pass?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And you'll get a full detailed report based on whatever information you provide for me, whatever questions you have about dating, relationships, breakups, reinventing yourself after divorce, whatever your thing is, wherever you are in your journey of love, I can definitely help you.
www.mountaintoppodcast.com. Love Quest. Get you some. Lisa Concepcion from Sarasota, Florida. Hey, kiddo, you stay safe down there the next few hours. Okay.
Thank you. Pray for us.
We will. I think you guys need it. I mean, you put on a pretty tough front here, but man, that is a dangerous storm coming, and we'll have to check in on you.
Please do.
Okay. All right. And we definitely want to have you back on. Thank you for being a part of the show. Great show.
Thanks for having me. And I'd love to come back and hang out some more.
Oh, yeah. These are your people. I'm telling you. We love you. All right, cool. Guys, go to mountaintoppodcast.com. Get on my calendar. Talk to me for free for 25 minutes about what you got going on with the women in your life or lack thereof. If it makes sense to put a program together to get you on the right track, well, we'll do that. If not, I love keeping my finger on the pulse of what's going on in your guys' lives and what we need to do shows about, coming up with new topics. The best way to do that is to talk to you guys personally, and I'm here for it. Also, check in on what the latest master class for men has been. You can get tickets to the upcoming one or get in on previous ones when you go to mountaintoppodcast.com/masterclass. And of course, check out our great longtime sponsors, Jocko Willink's company, Origin in Maine, Hero Soap Company, and also the Keyport. And when you decide to partake of anything from our three sponsors, please be sure to use the coupon code MOUNTAIN10 to get an additional 10% off. All of that is there for you and more when you go to mountaintoppodcast.com. And until I talk to you again real soon, this is Scott McKay from X&Y Communications in San Antonio, Texas. Be good out there.
The Mountaintop Podcast is produced by X&Y Communications. All rights reserved worldwide. Be sure to visit www.mountaintoppodcast.com for show notes. And while you're there, sign up for the free X&Y Communications newsletter for men. This is Ed Roy Odom speaking for the Mountaintop Podcast.